At exactly 3:17 a.m., the hour the forums insisted was thin enough for crossing, I finished drawing the final chalk symbol on the basement floor, my hands shaking not from fear but from anticipation, because curiosity is louder than instinct when you've convinced yourself you're smarter than every warning written by strangers who vanished after posting them. And the ritual itself was absurdly simple: no Latin chants, no candles blessed by monks, no blood sacrifices, just darkness, silence, and a mirror placed flat on the ground with its surface blackened by soot, surrounded by symbols that supposedly acted as doors rather than protections. And the instructions were clear: do not interrupt once begun, do not speak your name, and whatever answers you, do not look directly at it. But rules feel negotiable when you're alone and tired of being afraid of stories. So when I whispered the summoning phrase words that felt wrong in my mouth, like trying to remember a dream while still asleep, I laughed quietly at myself, because nothing happened at first, and the basement remained the same cold concrete box with dripping pipes and the faint hum of the furnace, until the mirror rippled as if something underneath it had exhaled, and that was the moment my confidence snapped, because reflections don't breathe, and yet the soot-dark glass pulsed once, twice, and then the shadows in the corners of the basement began to stretch, peeling away from the walls like wet skin, crawling toward the circle with a purpose that made my stomach drop, and I realized too late that the Shadow Man wasn't a single entity but a convergence. A gathering of absence shaped like a person, only because the human mind needs outlines to survive terror. And when the temperature plummeted so fast, my breath crystallized mid-air, I tried to step back but my feet wouldn't move, as if the symbols I had drawn were no longer invitations, but chains. And the mirror cracked with a sound like a gunshot, splitting down the center, and from that fracture rose something taller than the basement ceiling, folding itself impossibly to fit, its body made of layered darkness that swallowed light instead of reflecting it. And where its face should have been, there was nothing, no eyes, no mouth yet. I felt watched in a way that bypassed sight entirely, like something counting the thoughts in my skull. And when it spoke, it didn't use sound, but pressure, a crushing weight inside my head that formed words anyway. You called, and you did not listen. And I tried to apologize, tried to say I didn't mean it, but the rules had forbidden my name, and panic erased every other word. And the thing tilted its head as if amused, and suddenly the shadows behind me surged forward, wrapping around my arms and legs, lifting me slightly off the ground as memories that weren't T-mine flooded my mind, people standing where I stood across centuries, all convinced they were different, all convinced they were safe, all screaming eventually, and the Shadow Man showed me what it truly was. Not a demon or ghost, but a collector of thresholds, feeding on moments when humans reached beyond themselves without understanding what waits on the other side, and it began to peel me open emotionally rather than physically, dragging every regret, every lie, every unspoken fear into the open, shaping them into screaming silhouettes that clawed at my chest from the inside. And I understood then that summoning wasn't about control but consent, and I had given it freely. And when I finally broke the last rule and screamed my own name, hoping identity might anchor me, the Shadow Man recoiled not in pain, but in hunger, and the mirror exploded outward, shards embedding themselves in the walls like frozen shrapnel, each shard reflecting a different version of me dying in a different way. And the entity stepped fully into my world, its presence bending reality so the basement stretched into an endless corridor of darkness, doors lining the walls, each door whispering in familiar voices, my mother, my friends, even my own voice begging me to open them, promising safety. But the Shadow Man loomed behind me now, closer than before, and I felt its hand, if it was a hand, rest against my spine, pressing gently, guiding me forward. And I realized the final truth far too late. The ritual never summoned the Shadow Man into my world. It summoned me into his, and as the first door creaked open on its own, revealing nothing but deeper darkness that breathed and waited, the basement lights flickered back on upstairs, the chalk symbols faded into harmless smudges, and anyone who entered that house afterward would swear it was empty, never knowing that sometimes when the lights go out, just right, the shadows gather unnaturally in the corners, watching, waiting for someone else curious enough to draw a circle and whisper the wrong words at 3:17 a.m.